overwhelming demand, the Summer of 99 Tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With special guests 3 doors down. And Mammoth WVH. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Creed returns, the Summer of 99 Tour.
It's time! Get him down!
Bain drives.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Close. He hits and the Grizzlies have the lead.
Yeah!
Jared with a knockaway.
Good defense!
Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting.
Woo! Let's go! Let's go!
Double your chances to win all month long in March with 2 big promotions. On Fridays, embrace the madness and win a share of $150,000 in cash and free play. On Saturdays, starting March 8th, go for the gold and win your share of up to $10,000 in cash and free play in the 80K Fool's Gold giveaway. Enjoy live entertainment all month long and play for your chance to win big in March only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio. FedEx Forum, we're in downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle's right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're ready to stay up late tonight because SGA and the Oklahoma City Thunder are in town. It's an 8:30 tip. Going to be a late one. We'll talk through it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, about 20 minutes, Mike Wallace is going to join me, Grind City Media. He'll be in the arena tonight for Game 3, Western Conference Playoff Quarterfinals. Mike Wallace is going to join me in about 20 minutes. Finish talking to him, take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Aaron Bradshaw, who was a McDonald's All-American just 2 years ago, has committed to the University of Memphis. It's going to be his 3rd college in 3 years. I'll tell you more about him. We'll do it in about 40 minutes. There was an interesting conversation about Memphis All-American P.J. Haggerty that took place yesterday between 24/7 Sports' Adam Finkelstein and Isaac Trotter. I'll tell you how that conversation went. We'll do that a little later on in the show. We're getting a sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but Quentin Tarantino is not directing it. I'll give you the details on that in just a bit. Tennessee Titans have added a veteran receiver in advance of drafting their next quarterback. Big moves over there in Nashville. I'll tell you who the new receiver is. We'll do that in the 3rd segment. In the 2025 NFL Draft, it does get underway tonight. Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Which franchise will eventually select Shedeur Sanders? And are the anonymous quotes about him fair game or a little out of bounds? We'll discuss during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carryout and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies, because Game 3 of a best-of-7 series with the Thunder is going to be played tonight here in downtown Memphis. 8:30 tip inside FedEx Forum. Get your naps in, kids. You can watch it on TNT. Tickets available right now, Grizzlies.com. If you're curious, OKC is listed as a 9.5-point favorite.
Where the hell did that half point come from? I thought we were sitting at 9.
Well, it was 8.5 this time yesterday, I believe.
Okay.
And then it went to
All right.
9, and now
Okay.
it's 9.5. As they say, it's moving the wrong direction.
I gotcha.
Unless, of course, you want to get the Grizzlies with as many points as possible, then this is good news for you.
Sure,
You
fair
can get
enough.
9.5 right now. Big Bet Bennett, at this point, you've had plenty of time. We've all had plenty of time to get ready for tonight. Have you found a source of optimism in a world filled with negativity? Can you bring positivity to this Grizz Thunder conversation?
I think so. I think I can bring some positivity.
Give it your best shot.
I am actually really fired up about the game tonight. One, it's the first home playoff game of the season, and two, like these are typically a great spot for the home team. These game threes, they have been historically throughout playoff series. So if they're going to get one, this feels like the one. I mean, this is one that usually the crowd is fired up and. They pretty much come out on fire. The home team comes out on fire, and Oklahoma City's up 2-1. So, yeah, I feel like that it's a good spot for the Grizzlies. I do think that they, even though lost by 19 in the last game, they were clearly better than the first game. And I hope maybe
You're doing okay. Keep going.
I hope maybe they found something. I mean, dude. Listen, I've said this to you over and over and over again. I love playoff basketball in this building. I love playoff basketball in this building. I frankly, any series that we've ever been in, whether it felt like we had hope, whether we didn't have hope, I've always had a great time. And I think everybody that's been here has had a great time. It's fun. Friday night was fun in the play-in. So bring your ass down here.
Let's have some fun.
And let's have some fun tonight.
Let's have some fun in downtown Memphis.
It's Thirsty Thursday.
It is Thirsty Thursday.
Yeah, it's Thirsty Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday.
So some will be having more fun than others.
Thirsty Thursday.
We welcome that too.
Here's what I would say. You said the team, Game 3 playoffs, the team will come out on fire. I hope so. Hadn't happened in Game 1. Didn't happen in Game 2. I hope they do come out, as they say, on fire tonight. You also say the building will be on fire, and we'll see. But I was listening to Chris Vernon yesterday when I got out of here, like I often do.
Okay.
And one of the things he said is that the only thing that would disappoint him about Game 3 tonight inside FedEx Forum is if the building wasn't slammed later tonight.
Agreed.
Well, I guess I'd say that wouldn't be the only thing that would disappoint me. Like the Grizz coming out with no urgency for the third straight game, that would disappoint me. The Grizz getting blown out for the third straight game, that would disappoint me. But if you want to know how to get your franchise mocked, even worse than it was mocked, while trailing by 56 points on Easter, then let TNT point a bunch of cameras at an empty FedEx Forum during Game 3 of a playoff game about 10 hours from now. That would be a rough scene. As I hope you know, I'm never one to tell other people what to do with their money, especially at 8:30 on a school night opposite the NFL draft.
All the good picks will already be out of the way by then.
The NBA did not do us any favors here. 8:30 tip on a school night opposite the NFL draft is less than ideal. But you can't claim to be the best fan base in the NBA or even one of the best when you have a bunch of empty seats for a playoff game featuring John Morant, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bain, not to mention the favorite to be the MVP of the NBA, Oklahoma City star, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Like, that's all going to be happening in this building tonight. All those people are going to be there. And I know some Memphians love to dump on Nashville as a sports town. They turn on CBS, Channel 3 on Sunday, and they look at Nissan Stadium, and it's half empty or filled with other teams' fans, and Memphians love to point to that and say, look at Nashville sucks. Look at Nashville. They suck. Fair enough. Okay, I'm not here to defend Nashville. I'm just here to say it becomes a little silly sounding if folks in Nashville tonight turn on TNT and see you doing no better than them. Again, spend your time and your money however you like. Ultimately, it is nobody's civic obligation to attend a basketball game. But this stuff is important. It does matter. The Grizzlies' lease does expire in 2029. There are no guarantees that this franchise will stay here forever. These things do get moved around when they're not supported in however many ways professional sports franchises can be supported. Seattle lost its basketball franchise once upon a time. Oakland lost its baseball franchise. St. Louis lost its football franchise. Quebec lost its hockey franchise. Ultimately, it is a...
Quebec had a hockey?
It's before your time.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't remember.
It was before your time.
Okay, I got you.
Ultimately, it is the team's job to compel you to show up to games. Ultimately, if we're being honest here, it ain't my job. And it ain't Bennett's job, and it ain't Jessica Benson's job, and it ain't Chris Vernon's job. It's John Morant's job, and Jaren Jackson Jr.'s job, and Desmond Bain's job to compel fans to show up. And frankly, the team hasn't done a great job of doing that lately. Again, we don't have to lie to each other. But again, this stuff is important. It matters, both in terms of optics and in terms of just bottom line business stuff. So I'm going to be there. I'm taking at least one of my sons. And if you're there, I look forward to seeing you.
Me too.
Bennett's going to be there.
I'll be there.
Bennett's going to be there. And, like, I think two things can be true at the same time. You're not obligated to support a basketball team out of any sort of civic obligation. The best way to get people into a building for a sporting event is to compel them to be there. Think of Memphis SMU football a few years ago. Liberty Bowl, currently known as Simmons Bank. Game day in town. And they filled that place up. I was there with my wife and my kids.
$65K.
Now, I wasn't there out of any sort of civic obligation. I wasn't there because I thought I needed to support Memphis sports or the University of Memphis, my alma mater, Mike Norvell, anybody else. Do you know why I was there? I wanted to be there. I wanted to be there. I wanted my family to feel that and see that and experience that. I wanted my kids to see it. I wanted them to have that memory. That's the best way to fill up something. Just create a compelling reason that people want to be there. This team, again, we don't have to lie, has not done a good job of compelling people to jump on board. They collapsed after the trade deadline. They went from 2nd to 8th. They didn't show up in game 1 and didn't show up at least until the 3rd quarter of game 2. If you're frustrated with them, I understand. But these things are important things. The optics do matter. And it would be less than ideal for TNT to come live to FedEx Forum. You know they could have been going live to the Intuit Dome tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Denver and Clippers are also playing a Game 3 in Los Angeles.
Is tied, yeah.
I mean, that's 2 all-time greats. Nikola Jokic, Kawhi Leonard, Los Angeles market, Denver market. TNT could go there. That's on NBA TV. TNT decided they wanted to come to Memphis. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on one side, John Morant on the other. It would be less than ideal. TNT comes live to Memphis because they're going to be in Detroit right before they come to Memphis.
Yep.
What do you think that's going to look like?
Hornet's nest. That one will be wild.
The Pistons players are predicting that Little Caesars tonight is going to be more lit, as they say, than even Madison Square Garden for a playoff game. Whether that's true or not, we'll see. But that's going to be the contrast that you're dealing with. They going straight from Little Caesars to FedEx Forum. What's it going to look like? I hope it looks good.
I hope it looks good, too.
I hope it looks good. It's nobody's civic obligation to support this stuff, but it does matter. It matters for optics, and then it matters in what is just a bottom line business. Circling back to what Vernon said, the only thing that would disappoint him tonight would be the crowd not being the way a crowd should be for a playoff game in downtown Memphis. I understand the sentiment, but there are, like I said, other things that could disappoint me. And the other one would be, if you're down 9-0 again.
No, that would be so deflating.
Like just like play. Like everybody understands what's going on right now, okay? You're not as good as them. Your best player is not as good as their best player. Your second best player, probably not as good as their second best player. I know your fourth best player ain't as good as their fourth best player, or fifth, or sixth, or seventh, or eighth, or ninth, or 10th, or 11th. Go on down, all right? They're better than you. They're better than everybody. Have me in here tomorrow questioning your ability. Have me in here tomorrow questioning the makeup of the roster. Have me in here tomorrow questioning what moves need to be made or what the franchise needs to do with the head coaching position. Allow me to talk about that stuff tomorrow. Don't make me come in here tomorrow and wonder why you didn't look like you were trying again. Wonder why the 1 seed that's beating your brains in is out hustling you, is out working you, is out running you. Don't make me talk about that stuff again. We had to talk about that on Monday.
Yeah, that sucked.
And then we assumed we wouldn't have to talk about it again on Wednesday. But then Tuesday night happened. And even the unbiased commentators on TNT are like looking at the Grizzlies and going, okay, it's one thing to not be able to make a shot, but like, can you run? Can you rotate? Can you get on the floor for a loose ball? Like they're disgusted by it. And they're not even emotionally involved in it. Once they're done with this, they're going to move on to something else. The rest of us got to sit here with it. We ain't got nowhere else to go. The TNT crew, they will go somewhere else when this is over. We ain't got nowhere else to go. We got to sit with this. Don't make me come in here tomorrow and wonder why you had no energy, no urgency in the opening minutes of a playoff game. We all know how this series is going to end. It's going to be in 4 games or 5 or I'll stop there. We all know where this is going.
I mean, we've come back from 0-2 before.
Not with this team.
We've come back from 0-2 before.
Not with this team and not against this team. You have come back from 0-2 before, but not with this team and not against this team. Those are 2 different variables. The only variable you got right is 0-2, but this ain't like that. This is a different deal. We all know how this is going to end, barring something crazy. And by crazy, I mean probably multiple injuries on the other side. But you can either go into this offseason having people say, okay, some adjustments need to be made and got to get healthy and got to figure out what to do with the head coaching position. But I feel good about the core of this thing. Mm-hmm. I feel good about the heart of this thing.
Yeah, for sure.
You can even go into this offseason after losing the series and still feel good about the core of this thing. Or you might go into this offseason not feeling so good. If they show no heart, lose the game if you have to because the other team's just better than you. But, like, fight for it. Every time I turn on a playoff game, somebody's trying to fight somebody else. Did you see them last night?
Yes.
Everybody wants to fight everybody.
I loved it.
Who wants to fight over here? And I don't mean you don't have to.
No, I know what you mean.
You don't have to impress me with like putting your dukes up.
No,
I'm not a fighter.
That's not what you mean.
I just mean like, yo, man, this has to bother you.
Yeah.
This has to bother you. It has to hurt. I don't know why it hurts Eric Hasseltine more than it hurts some of the people I'm watching on the court, or at least it appears that way. Yes, if the building's not on fire tonight, that will be disappointing. But if the guys don't show up, if you can't beat them because they're better than you, that's one thing. If I have to watch them out-hustle you again, that's an entirely different thing. And that's where, if it happens for the third straight game, then everything has to be questioned. The person trying to get them fired up and to play with a sense of urgency, but hadn't been able to do it so far, that's got to be in question. And then, the heart of this thing. We all love John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bane. But if collectively they can't figure out how to just show up in the way you're supposed to show up when you are combining to make, $100 million, then that has to be into question too. You're all awesome individual basketball players, but where's your heart at? You didn't show it in game 1. You didn't show it until the third quarter in game 3. I'd like to see it right from the opening tip tonight. If you're down, you're down. If the other team's making shots, they're making shots. If you can't, you can't. Don't make me question your heart. Not in a home playoff game in downtown Memphis.
Don't let us win tonight. If we win tonight, I will absolutely convince myself.
Well, if
we win tonight, I will absolutely convince myself.
If the Grizzlies win tonight, we will come in here tomorrow and we'll say, okay, that's something that happened. Can you pull that off again? Is there anything to draw from it?
Because the game's 2:30 on a Saturday, like that'll be lit.
And then, that's the other reason tonight is very important.
Yeah, your next game's 2:30 on a Saturday. Like, it'll be wild.
If you think it's tough to sell tickets on a Thursday night, Game 3, down 0-2, try doing it Saturday afternoon, down 0-3. It becomes difficult, you know?
Oh, I think that one will do good.
It just hope
That's
starts,
a great time. I mean, I'm just saying, that's a great.
It's a wonderful time.
Yeah.
But down 0-3 is.
I feel that.
It's almost like you're buying tickets to a funeral, you know?
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, big game tonight, 8:30.
Let's go.
Talk to Mike Wallace
Grizz.
about it next.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second-chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
There's nothing like playoff basketball.
Boy, nothing like playoff basketball in Memphis.
The atmosphere of a Grizzlies playoff game is super exciting.
Oh my God, it's absolutely electric. I love seeing the crowd out.
Everybody's just screaming their heads off. You feel like you're in a movie.
People are down here. Everyone's got on their Grizz gear.
The city's excited. Everybody's excited to watch. There's really nothing like it, and I really can't wait.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
All you American wrestling fans out there, watching this international road to WrestleMania should be a wake-up call. Turn up at these shows. Stop being so spoiled, because Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes,
I love it.
Cody Rhodes.
Let's go, Cena. Cena sucks.
Yeah.
I'm wagging my finger because you're telling those people that they need to do better.
Yeah.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Parrish Show presented by Ortho South. 8:30 tip tonight inside FedEx Forum. Game 3 Western Conference quarterfinals. Grizzlies and Thunder. TNT is where you can watch it. Tickets available Grizzlies.com. Mike Wallace works for Grind City Media. You hear him on the radio with Eric Hasseltine. He's joining me right now. Hey, Michael Wallace. It's GP. How you doing?
What's going on, Gary? Good to be with you again, man.
I appreciate you being here. I don't want to spend much time talking about the breaking down the game, because it seems silly to ask you, what do the Grizzlies need to do to get back in this series? We sort of understand where we're at. But let me ask you this in a bigger picture way, because you follow this franchise as closely as anybody. A couple years ago, we had one of the best growing rosters in the NBA, led by young stars, and people were projecting the Grizzlies to honestly be more or less what the Thunder are right now. ESPN brought a whole crew here one day just to have Grizzlies days. It seems like a lifetime ago, but it was really just a few years. How did we go from that to this, to down 0-2, completely overwhelmed by a franchise that was looking up at you in the standings 2 years ago? Now, not only are you not competitive in Oklahoma City, you're not even expected to be competitive in your home building tonight. They're 9.5-point underdogs. How did we get here?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question, and I wish I had all the answers, and even if I did, it probably would last far longer than my segment right here with you. But got to look at a couple of things from the very beginning. I mean, there were some external factors, things that you couldn't control. Health, right? Like Oklahoma City has had health issues. People keep thinking that they didn't have adversity. No, they did. Chet Holmgren has missed basically half of his career so far through the first 2-3 seasons of his NBA career. They've had injuries on their roster too, but the Grizzlies have had health issues with their main guy, right? Like John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. Early in Jaren's career, he had health issues, and more recently, Ja's had an inability to stay on the floor. And what that does is that puts a lot of pressure on your other players to have to step up. You're drafting and acquiring players to fit these two guys being 65 to 70 game per season players, and they just haven't been that for the most part. So I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying the reality is there. This is an equal opportunity, look in the mirror, right? Because, the franchise also has to look in from the front office standpoint. There was some very, very interesting trades that didn't work out. Zach Kleiman has admitted, the Marcus Smart thing that cost the Grizzlies 3 first-round draft picks did not work out. It was a failure, and he admitted that. The Zaire Williams pick, the trade with the Hornets, that was a failure, because you're looking at what the Hornets got out of that. The Pelicans got out of that, and they came out victorious in that trade, and you had the number 10 pick, and that guy's still not even a regular rotation NBA player right now in terms of Zaire. So there's some injuries to some fringe guys also didn't help. And then timing, you know what I mean, from what happened this year with Jalen Wells and Brandon Clark in a series that you could have avoided. I think you're punching in your weight class when you're going up against Houston at the 2-7, way more so than you are at the 1-8 going against Oklahoma City. But having said all of that, the true blessing in the midst of its burden is that this series will expose exactly what you need to do moving forward, one way or another. From inventory from the top all the way through the franchise, this series will expose exactly where you are. And if you're a championship caliber franchise, that is a championship caliber franchise right in front of you. What do we need to do to get to that point? Those questions have to be asked.
Talking to Mike Wallace here from Grind City Media. He'll be in the building tonight, 8:30 tip, Grizz Thunder Game 3, Western Conference quarterfinals. I think what you just touched on is the biggest failure of all of this. It's that you shouldn't even be in this series. You shouldn't even be getting humiliated by the Oklahoma City Thunder right now. That should come later, if at all. You should be playing somebody, like you said, more in your weight class as a 7 seed, 6 seed, 5 seed, 4 seed. And then this whole thing, I think, looks and feels different. Maybe it still goes similarly in terms of you don't make it out of the quarterfinals, but it doesn't feel so hopeless as things feel right now. Obviously, to the extent that there are issues, it's not only Ja, Jaren, Dez. In fact, I would argue on some level it's not even mostly them. The roster around them is lacking in a variety of ways. But they are the face of this thing. And they're the ones that have to answer the questions, and they're the ones that get talked about by Kendrick Perkins and Zach Lowe and everybody else. When you hear people, even if it's just fans, and perhaps it is just fans, but when you hear fans suggest that something needs to be done with this core, in other words, we're done tinkering around the edges and trying to find a wing to play with Ja, Jaren, and Dez. Something needs to be done with the Ja, Jaren, Dez core. How do you respond to that? Do you roll your eyes at it, or do you understand?
Oh, no, I definitely understand it. And that's where I have to put on my external hat. I've been covering the league for 20-plus years now. And, when you talk about a core group of guys being together for as long as Ja, Dez and Jaren have been together, and I asked Ja that point blank. I mean, you guys have been together 5+ seasons now. Look around the league. There are not 3-man cores who have been together for 5+ seasons outside of, and if you want to throw Michael Porter Jr. in there as part of Denver's core, the Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Nikola Jokic. That's a 3-man core right there. Look at the West. No other team has been along and had that kind of continuity outside of Memphis and Denver in that way in terms of how they're pushing forward. Even Boston's core has changed up. Porzingis just got there, if you want to add him as the third member to Tatum and Brown, you know what I mean? Or however you want to construct it. These teams don't get the blessings, they don't get the opportunity to be together for as long as these 3 guys have been together and not produce, right? So that is a fair question. When I say produce, I mean produce at a conference finals or NBA finals level. that is a fair question, especially how the way this season has gone. When you've already started making changes, in the last month of the regular season, they have to answer that question. And I'm not saying that you have to break it up, but I'm saying you definitely have to look at ways to improve your team. And no one on this roster is untouchable when it comes to that at that point, if you're really honest about it.
To your point, in Boston pre-championship, I don't know that the three best players on the team were in any order, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart. But 3 seasons ago, the 2022-23 season, those three guys, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart, led the Boston Celtics in minutes played. And Brad Stevens decided this core, and in many ways, Marcus was like the heart of it. Like, he was really an important part of Boston. And Brad Stevens said, hey, we love these guys, all of them, but this ain't working. We got to do something else. They make the move. They move Marcus Smart to Memphis. They get Porzingis, and that's how they take the next step. I don't think we need to make any grand declarations today, but when things don't work out, you're exactly right. These things do get broken up.
And think about that, Gary. They broke it up having gone to the conference finals year after year. They were in the conference finals with that team, and they were just one step away from getting to the NBA finals. So they had to face the question of, can we go from really, really, really good to a NBA champion, a great team to an NBA champion? That's a different line than what we're talking about with the Grizzlies right now. We're just talking about, can these guys get past the first round? And that's not a definitive answer. They've only done it one time with this core. And even in that series, it was a relatively, it was a 6-game series or whatever, and injuries played a factor in that. So we're not throwing out anything to be hypercritical. We're just throwing out the reality of the situation that when it's time to take inventory, it's time to take inventory. And there still is a path forward with these three guys. They're all 26 and under, right? Like this is Tatum and Brown were around this age when they started to take off. Whereas Ja, Jaren, and Dez were a lot younger when they got a lot more put on their shoulders, so to speak. So, I get the willingness to want to be patient, and that could pay off. But you're definitely at a line of demarcation right now where you either have to go all in or you have to reconsider what the pieces look like around these guys or even with these guys, because this roster is going to get exponentially more expensive every season beyond next season. And I'm talking about championship level expensive. And if you're going to do that kind of thing, then you definitely have to be in the championship discussion, not just by words, but by actions and execution.
So after game 2, the Thunder win it by 19, and Jalen Williams at Oklahoma City gets the postgame interview, and his teammates are behind him. And he's talking about chemistry and how much they love each other and how well they get along and how there's no jealousy within the locker room and everybody's pulling in the same direction. And it was all the same things you used to hear the Grizzlies say, but you don't hear it that much anymore. Here's my question. Ja and Jaren and Dez have been just attached at the hip for 5 years now. You can barely talk about one of them without talking about the others. They've been the face of this thing for a while. Do they love each other? Do they love playing together? Like, are they best? Like, I don't think you have to be best friends to be great coworkers or create a great basketball team. But yeah. I had a friend ask me this within the past week, and I was like, I'm not around them like that. You're around them more than I am. What is the chemistry between those three guys right now? Because when things go weird, I imagine stuff can get complicated.
Yeah. I mean, those guys are grown men now. When they were 19, 20, 21, and 22, they were a lot more, the fraternity was stronger at that point. No question about it, because they're all experiencing all of this money for the first time, the flexibility, the freedom, going through the league together, enjoying all the league spoils, you know what I mean? The Sprinter vans, and all of those kind of things. They're all at the same, post-game functions and parties and all of that. As you get older, you kind of become your own person. They are three uniquely different personalities. I mean, Desmond Bane is about to be a father of two, right now, and he has a family, a wife, and he's looking at investments. He's trying to start a foundation and grow his foundation from that standpoint. Jaren Jackson Jr. is off in the fashion world and in the creative space when he's not around basketball. Ja Morant is more of a family. He's reinvested into his AAU circuit. So what I'm saying is that the things that they didn't have, 3 years ago, they have now. And those are things that take them away from the pressures of basketball. They're still joined at the hip when it comes to how they play. Now, schematically, is it perfect? No, it's not. And when you remove a coach who put these things together, and that was the only voice that they've ever heard collectively in the NBA, and you remove that, it's going to be some adjustments there and some discomfort there. So I think that needs to be fixed too. We still have to ask the question, at this stage of their lives, at this stage of their maturity and their development, are they still as connected in terms of production on the court? Can you find someone who is going to connect them and unleash the very best of their games together at this point? I will say this, that same question people used to ask me of all the time. Like LeBron James and Dwayne Wade had a unique bond because that bond existed before they were teammates. And even when they became teammates, it wasn't always peaches and cream. Like I remember times in the locker room where LeBron James would come into the locker room and then find out from the media that Dwayne Wade wasn't playing because he had knee issues that night. And it wasn't because Dwayne texted him and said, hey, man, I'm out. You got to do this, carry us forward. It was because they just didn't communicate at the same level as when they were just strictly friends and not teammates. So things kind of come in and go. The ebb and flow of relationships happen like that in the NBA all the time. But I still think that there's a path forward with this core. It just has to be more defined with a lot more stronger voices in terms of leadership and a strategy to get them to their best. That still is ahead of this team. And I think this fan base deserves it. They want it. And I think this team can do it. One more thing on that, Gary. Think about it. We're only one more year away from Ja, Jaren, and Dez being here collectively as long as Zebo, Tony, Mike, and Mark, right? That core four that wasn't a forever unit. That unit was like 5 or 6 or 7 years strong, and then that was it. So, we're at year 5 with these guys, and we got to see what happens. That core went to the Western Conference Finals within their 5 years of their peak. This core hasn't gotten there yet, and we'll see if they can do it.
Wrapping up here with Mike Wallace, Grind City Media. Last thing before I let you go, the Grizzlies are 9.5-point underdogs tonight. Simply put, whenever you're a 9.5-point underdog at home, you're not in a good spot. So let's not, play pretend here. But in your eyes, how does it work where I'm sitting inside FedEx Forum tonight, there's 6 minutes to go, and this game is still very much up for grabs? For the Grizzlies to be in that position, what has to happen?
Well, they have to start fast. They have to start first. They have to, in the last 6 minutes will define, obviously, the outcome and the score. But the first 6 minutes will dictate the terms of this game. The Grizzlies have not had a great first 6 minutes against this team in a long time. But they are capable of doing that. The last time they met in the regular season, which happened to be the day before Taylor Jenkins got dismissed, they were leading the Oklahoma City Thunder with 6 minutes left and coming down the stretch, and then they just kind of let go of the rope at the end. They have to bring that same energy early on. The role players have to step up and make shots. The Grizzlies missed 9 of their first 10 shots or 10 of their first 11 shots the other night. That's unacceptable. You cannot do that to yourself. And those were makeable shots. It wasn't like Oklahoma City was forcing them into bad looks. If you go back and look at the first 3 minutes of game 2, you'll see the Grizzlies got shots that they normally can make. It's going to take Ja, Jaren, and Dez to get off to a lethal start tonight. Force Oklahoma City and Mark Daigneault to make the first timeout so that they can at least taste their own blood a little bit and have to go through some adversity. And then you play the game from there. And I think this is the time where you need a John Conchar or, Santi Aldama. You need those guys to step up. You need a strong game from Scottie Pippen and your role players because they annihilated you in the bench production. They annihilated you in transition. And they annihilated you in the turnover department. You got to eliminate those things and get your role players going. But it takes a quick start to get this crowd into it. They want to be here tonight. They want to show up. And if they haven't, there's still space to get tickets. Make sure you do that because this team will need the energy that Oklahoma City got from their home fans.
That is the great Mike Wallace. You can follow him on X at @MyMikeCheck. That's at @MyMikeCheck. All his work available, grindcitymedia.com. You're the best, buddy. I'll see you inside FedEx Forum a little later on tonight.
All right, catch Gary on. You'll be on a warm-up show tonight with us.
I'm coming in, baby. I'm working. I got these New York nights behind me. I'm back home. I'm going to start acting more like a Memphian. I'll be in the warm-up show tonight. I think my scheduled appearance is around 7:50.
There you go. Looking forward to it, man.
I'm looking forward to it too. I see you in a little while. That's Mike Wallace, Grind City Media on X at @MyMikeCheck on X.
Look at us on pre and post game duties.
Check. feel like I got to pull some rope a little bit.
Look
you
at
know?
us on pre and post game duties tonight.
I'm trying to get involved.
I like this.
No, if I'm being completely honest, there are moments where I'm just not here. You know, I'm just not here. From November till April, I'm gone a lot, and I'm watching everybody else every night. I'm sitting in a hotel room in New York or sitting in a studio in New York, and I'm watching all you guys in the building, and it's like,
You get a little jealous. You get a little jealous, aren't you?
No, I don't get jealous. No, that's not the word at all.
You feel a little left out.
I feel
left out.
I don't even feel left out. That's not the right term either. What I feel is a little detached. I feel a little detached. I feel like I am not as involved as you're involved.
I feel that, yeah.
And like everybody understands why.
Yes.
I have other obligations, but I still just because everybody understands why, myself included, doesn't change. Like I have feelings.
I get that.
The feelings are real.
Yeah.
Like just because I can explain them away doesn't mean they're not real. And so like I'm here and I want to be in a building tonight. I want to bring Oliver with me tonight, and I just want to it's a playoff game.
Let's go.
I want my boys to feel it's a playoff game with John Morant and Shai Gilgeous. If I'd have told you 6 months ago, 2 years ago, on April 24, 2025, best of 7 series, Grizz Thunder, John Morant on one side, and soon to be probably MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the other one. How fired up are you for that? Now I know as we've gotten here, like the details are a little different than we would have imagined.
I don't give a damn about those details.
But Bennett doesn't care about details, not on a day like today. And
that was then. This is now.
This is now. This is now. All right? So I'm going to have fun tonight. I'm going to have a good time tonight. You can do whatever you want to do, but I'm going to have a good time tonight.
I'm going to have a good time tonight, too.
I'm going to be on the warm-up show.
I need a growl towel. I didn't get a growl towel. I didn't get a growl towel to play, and I need a growl towel tonight so I can be up there in my little spot on radio doing my thing.
Well, there's like 17,000 sitting right in the... You just got to walk in there and grab them.
No, you don't. You don't do that.
You can't do that.
Dude, you can walk in there right now, and you'll see all those growl towels on that seat. There won't be anybody in there, and if you try to grab one, somebody will come running out like, don't you touch that growl towel.
They'll cut your hand off.
They'll cut your hand off. Don't touch those growl towels. Those are for the ticket buyers. Okay?
Those are for ticket buyers.
Yeah, we're not allowed to touch those. Trust me, I know.
You got in trouble. You tried to steal one. You tried to steal a growl towel, and you got caught.
I love those growl towels.
I love a good growl towel.
I love a good growl towel. And the thing is, man, is I got like some of them, I doubled up over the years, like because you get like multiple home playoff games, and so you sometimes get like 2 of the same one, and they're like, you can use them for different things. Like I've got all of them, saved, like untouched. So I have like one from each series, but then like some that I have doubles of. Dude, those are like just great towels to use because it makes me happy when I'm doing stuff around the house and I'm like, oh man, I remember that. That was great. That was a great time.
Because I do this too.
You can repurpose your growl towels.
You can repurpose your growl towels.
It's fine. We don't care.
But I had a moment, like this was something I had to go through in life. This was an experience for me. My first growl towel? Man, buddy, you don't want to touch that.
No, that one stays like locked away. Don't touch that one.
You might want to frame that.
That's right.
That's your first growl towel. All right.
But like your 6th?
But then you start collecting growl towels. You want to have all the growl towels. Hey, do you remember the moment where it first popped into your head, oh man, I just spilt this beer. I'm going to clean it up with a growl towel.
I'll take it a step further.
Because I think we all get there. But you never think you're going to get there when you're holding your first growl towel. But then you look up one day and you're cleaning up a mess with a growl towel. I've done it.
I'll take it a step further. My wife, I think she's probably my girlfriend at the time because we've been at this thing for a long time.
Y'all been doing it for a long time.
We've been doing it for a long time. That's right. And going to playoff games for a long time.
Okay,
that was one of our first dates, by the way, a Grizzlies playoff game.
Awesome.
Yeah. But I can vividly remember seeing her cleaning something with a growl towel. I'm like,
yeah, it's tough. It's a tough thing to see. You don't ever expect to see that. Then you see it.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I will say, I think any Memphian that's like lived here a long time and gone to Grizzlies games for a long time, I'm pretty sure most of us repurpose our growl towels.
I'm at a point now, my growl towels are repurposed. Like I have growl towels. We have there's a growl towel in my bar. If something were to spill, I might clean it up with a growl towel and then go throw that growl towel in the laundry, and then we'll wash that growl towel. Then we'll bring it right back to the bar.
But see, that's what brings back the feel-good memories, because your ones that you locked away, the precious growl towels, you're not taking those out all the time and looking through them and everything like that. It's the ones that you got dirtied up and you see them and you're like, I remember Believe Memphis.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I don't remember any of it. I don't remember anything about anything. I can't attach any growl towel to any column. I mean, to any actual game. Like, I was reading Jeff Calkins' column last night, I guess, and he's like, and if you own this ground towel, you'll never forget it. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, I was probably there. I don't remember what he's talking about. So I don't connect it the way you connect it. But I do just like. Here's what I can connect. Whenever you get these things, they're big nights, they're big days, they're big moments, they're important events. That's what the ground towel represents to me. Like, you don't get those on a Tuesday night in February.
No, those are special.
They're special.
They're reserved for precious moments.
They're reserved for precious moments.
Like tonight.
Like tonight. It's a precious moment. I can't wait to get another ground towel. But I want
to.
I did like getting to the point where
I want one I can put away and one that I can repurpose.
Yeah, I like to repurpose my stuff.
Yeah.
On this note, are you a cup collector? Like, you go to
coffee mugs.
Coffee mugs your thing?
Okay. Coffee mugs. I love a good coffee mug. If you've got a collectible coffee mug at somewhere that I'm visiting, vacationing, I will buy your coffee mug. Yes.
I have struggled with this in my life. I went through different phases where everywhere I go, I want to get something. So at one point, it was like a magnet. And so you get a magnet. Like, oh, here's an LA magnet, a New York magnet, Chicago magnet. And then after a while, I was like, where am I going to put all these magnets? This is stupid. All right. So then I was like, coffee mugs. I'll get it. Okay, here's a coffee mug from Las Vegas. And then it's like, but where am I going to put all these coffee mugs? Like, I go too many places to have something. So I'm just out. I don't have anything anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like a failure.
Yeah.
I fill up my.
I love collecting stuff like that.
But like, let's say I go to a Mets game, and I get a souvenir cup from Citi Field. I will bring that back, and that will be a part of our
collection
cupboard.
Yeah.
And like, if you want to pour a drink, you might drink out of a Mets cup. But then you look up, and all of a sudden, you got 17 Central Barbecue cups.
Accurate. I have a stack. I love, that's another thing that I love. The restaurants are like quick eat places.
I got
plastic cups.
I got 40 Central Barbecue cups.
Amazing.
I got 70 Sunrise cups.
Yep. I got a bunch of Grizzlies ones too. I think we do the collectible cups.
I got tons of Grizzlies cups.
Yeah.
I got a lot of cups. Man, if you ever need cups, magnets, or coffee mugs, I'm your guy.
Yeah, nice.
Or blankets.
Nice.
One of our biggest disagreements in my home is over our blanket collection.
Too many or too few?
Just too many.
Too many blankets.
Like,
we got a lot of blankets too. My wife loves a blanket.
My wife loves a blanket.
Wives love blankets. I don't know what's up with that.
Like, pick your favorite blanket.
Yeah, pick a blanket.
Pick your favorite.
I literally had one for like 15 years of my life.
I have the same Mets blanket for 30 years up in my office.
Okay? Pick a blanket.
And if I ever get cold, I just grab it and put it over my little legs. All right? Why do we need 50 blankets?
I don't know. That's very confusing to me.
Don't even get me started on towels.
What? How so?
Like, we might have 50 towels.
We've whittled down our collection quite a bit when we moved. 4
people live in my home. We could all take showers, never reuse the same towel for weeks at a time, and we'd still have more. What do we need all this for?
It's a lot of towels. I agree with that.
If you ever need a magnet or a towel,
I'm going to call you.
Or a blanket.
Okay.
I'm your guy.
Good.
All right. 8:30 tip tonight.
Let's go.
Inside FedEx.
Come get you a towel.
Come get you a towel. Now I'm going to get more towel. Ground towels are different than bath towels, though. Obviously.
I wish I had a towel right now. Someone come put a towel in my hand so I can wave it around the rest of this show.
All right, Bennett, calm down.
Someone come put a towel in my hand ASAP. Okay.
All right. We come back. I think we stretched that about as far as we could.
Okay.
Aaron Bradshaw, a McDonald's All-American from 2 years ago, is now a University of Memphis Tiger. It's going to be his third school in 3 years. Super talented guy. More prospect than player. At least that's been his reputation since he's entered college. I'll tell you more about him. We'll do that next. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
We touched on this earlier, the panel here, about what really has been the mainstay of the Grizzlies, and that's Jaren Jackson Jr. Trip has just been awesome.
He's posting guys up. He's stronger than he's ever been. He's physical, and he's scoring all type of ways.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans sign up by texting Grizz to 6364. Visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
The new issue of Slam, the cover dropped, and it is our friend Jaren Jackson Jr. on the cover.
And shout out to you, Lane.
Yeah.
You kept, well, I mean, we knew about it, but you kept this a secret the whole time. So shout out to you for putting this together.
We did the photo shoot a couple weeks ago here on a Sunday afternoon in the practice court. The Sneak Fest show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Aaron Bradshaw is a University of Memphis Tiger. Former McDonald's All-American 5-star prospect is going to play for Penny Hardaway in the AAC next season. We talked about him after he had visited campus, and I just sort of explained to you, like, this is somebody who projected as a one-and-done player coming out of high school. That obviously didn't work out. Still thought he could be a first-round pick after a second year of college, after transferring from Kentucky to Ohio State. You know, every year on the night of the NBA draft, I am asked to at least put together a lottery in advance of the next NBA draft. So on the night of the 2024 draft, they've got me doing a mock lottery, and it's like a year from now, it'll be Cooper Flagg and Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. It's pretty easy to hit at the top. Like the guys who are VJ Edgecombe, you know, the guys who are at the top of this draft were identified years ago to be at the top of this draft. So that's not hard. But if I'm being honest, by the time you get to about 10 or 11, and all of the good players from the season that just ended are at a college, it becomes very difficult to try to find. These players will emerge, but a lot of them are going to be international prospects.
I
and,
got you.
And there'll be college guys that it's harder to see it coming. My point is, it's very easy to start at number 1 with Cooper Flagg and then go Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey and VJ Edgecombe and all that. Eventually, you start running out of players. And I had Aaron Bradshaw in the lottery as a sophomore coming out of Ohio State.
a year ago on the night of the 2024 NBA draft. And the reason was because there is a history of five-star prospects who struggle in year one. If they return to school, they can have a breakthrough season. It didn't happen for him, but that was sort of the mindset. He's got the physical tools. He's a 7'1" athlete. He can rim protect. He can stretch the floor. Has never shot a great percentage from three, but that is considered a skill that he possesses. You at least have to guard him out to the three-point line. And he'll be a rare stretch five for Penny Hardaway since Penny has taken over at his alma mater. So all the talent stuff is in place. Again, not just others thought this guy was a lock to be in the NBA someday. It just hasn't materialized. In part, I think his freshman season, he was injured in the preseason. He missed a lot of preseason stuff at Kentucky, and then it was just hard for him to catch up. He had some moments, but he never really caught up. Transfers to Ohio State, and then there was a domestic incident of some sort that did sidelight him in the middle of this past season. No charges. Ohio State felt comfortable enough with it, whatever the results of that investigation were, to allow him to rejoin the team. So I don't think it makes any sense for me or anybody else to stand up and be like, what is Memphis doing?
Yeah.
Ohio State was allowing him to play. If the Ohio State University, after an investigation, felt comfortable allowing Aaron Bradshaw to continue to play for them, I don't know why we'd be, boycotting things in Memphis, Tennessee. It is what it is. But there was a domestic incident that did sideline him, and I can't imagine that's good for your college or professional aspirations. Either way, maybe the third time's the charm. So he goes from Kentucky to Ohio State, and now he'll be the University of Memphis. I don't know if he'll be a great player, but he is an undeniable talent. And you ready for this? I feel comfortable saying this right now without even knowing how the rest of this stuff's going to unfold. He might not be the best player in the AAC next season. He will be the most talented player in the AAC. There will be nobody else who looks like him, moves like him. He will stand at, when you are watching Memphis against UTSA or Memphis against Charlotte, you will notice there's one guy out there that looks different than everybody else, and it will be Aaron Bradshaw.
It kind of does remind me just a little. I know they're different players, but it does remind me a little bit of the Dane Dangerous situation in the sense that, maybe he wasn't good. Maybe he's not good enough to dominate the Big Ten on a night-to-night basis, but probably could dominate the AAC on a night-to-night basis.
He should
easily. Yeah.
The issues with him, like if you ask, you can find whatever quote you want. You just ask the right questions to the right people. But broadly speaking, if you ask folks who have been around Aaron Bradshaw, so what's the issue? They will point to an injury that limited him at Kentucky. They will point to the incident at Ohio State that sidelined him for a while. They will mostly talk about right here. It's just up here. Like, how badly do you want? You want to be a basketball player or not? You want to be awesome or not? You can be good just doing what you're doing. But do you want to be great? What you hope with a young man like this is that you start to look up and go, whoa.
Yeah.
Because when you are a prospect like this, by the time you're 15, 16 years old, people are telling you you're on your way to the NBA. People are already calling you a one and done. Yep. You look at where you're ranked in your high school class, and then you just compare it to where other people are ranked in high school classes previously.
Yep.
And all the evidence suggests you are on the path to the NBA. And then John Calipari wants you. He says, come to Kentucky. Well, my God, when John Calipari brings you to Kentucky, you know what that usually means? You are headed to the NBA.
Right.
That's usually what that means. John Calipari signs you as a five-star prospect. You are probably going to the NBA. So when you sign with Kentucky, you think you're on your way to the NBA after 1 year. When you're at Kentucky, you think, and then it doesn't happen. You're not very good. All right, well, I was just banged up, lost my whole preseason, and Cal didn't know how to use me. Whatever. I'll go to Ohio State, get a fresh start. All right, well, you were better, but not really much better. You went from playing 14 minutes a game to playing 17 minutes a game. You went from averaging 5 points a game to 6 points a game. You went from averaging 3 rebounds a game to 3 rebounds a game. You were slightly better statistically, but still not good. Still not even what anybody would call a good college basketball player. What you hope for somebody like this, and I'm not promising you it, it's just what you hope, is that you have this moment where you look up and you go, my God, when I was 15, 16, 17, everybody in the world wanted me. Then John Calipari wanted me. Then Ohio State wanted me. And now I'm going to the AAC. I'm supposed to be in the NBA, and I'm going to the AAC. Man, if I don't do something, this ain't going to happen for me. I'm going to be a 7'1" G leaguer.
Yep.
You know, I'm going to be a 7'1" playing in New Zealand. Like, this ain't, you have all the physical tools to be great. Now go be great. Because if you're not, I'll come see you at the Landers Center.
I will say, you know, we talk a lot about, and rightfully so, like Penny Hardaway, one of the great guards ever, and you know, the job that he does with guards. Dude, he's done a pretty great job with bigs that have come through the program in his tenure. Like, and I know some of those guys just talent alone, right? Like Jalen Duren and Precious Achua. But I mean,
Day was good, better than most anticipated.
For sure. DeAndre Williams.
Sure.
I mean, Musa, his first and second run. I mean, Malcolm Dandridge had good games.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's had a really good track record with bigs. So I do feel confident about him being able to, you know, get through to this guy and get the best out of him.
John Calipari couldn't. Jake Diebler couldn't. Perhaps Penny Hardaway can.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the key. The physical stuff is all there. You bring this guy into the practice facility, it ain't hard to see. He can do things at his size that normal people can't do. But at some point, you go from being a good prospect to are you a player or are you a prospect? Because eventually, if you don't become a great player, you cease to be a prospect. It's got to happen at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Breakthrough seasons sometimes do come in year 3. Sometimes do come at a third different school. For him, let's hope it happens. Aaron Bradshaw has committed to the Tigers.
Number 2.
Interesting conversation yesterday between Adam Finkelstein and Isaac Trotter, both of whom cover recruiting for 24/7 Sports, which is under the CBS Sports umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think we have the same titles, but like those guys are my coworkers and my friends,
Gotcha.
and they're awesome at what they do. So they got into a conversation yesterday on their podcast about PJ Haggerty specifically. And in the conversations they're having with coaches, what they're hearing, and I just thought this was interesting. Isaac Trotter said, I'm talking to coaches who are like interested in PJ Haggerty. Like they could snap their fingers and have PJ Haggerty on their team. Sure. But is paying $4 million for PJ Haggerty really good? Like, how much money do I have? Do you spend it on that player? And if you spend it on that player, does it cause problems in your locker room? And oh, by the way, PJ Haggerty was just the best player on a college basketball team that had other good college basketball players. And it was a 5 seed. Why am I paying $4 million to get a guard who just showed us he was somebody else's best player and got him a 5 seed? I'm paying $4 million to hope this guy can drag me to a 5 seed? Now, I don't think that lines up perfectly, because just because PJ Haggerty led Memphis to a 5 seed doesn't mean he couldn't lead Michigan to a 2, you know?
Right.
But there's some real pushback on this. It feels like in this moment where coaches and other people who have the ability to meet PJ Haggerty's asking price, for lack of a better phrase, are real hesitant to do it, and some completely unwilling. There's a situation that just arose at Auburn that is another cautionary tale for college basketball programs all over the country. I don't know if you saw this, but Chad Baker-Mazara, who has another year of eligibility and has been starting for this Auburn team, like, he's been an important player. An up and down player, but an important player for an Auburn team that's been operating at the tip top of the sport, was the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. He entered the transfer portal, somewhat surprisingly, because in the middle of the season when it became clear he might have another year of eligibility, he said, like, Auburn fans, how you feeling? Like, it was all indications where he's just coming back to Auburn. Well, then he enters the transfer portal. Do you know the explanation?
Mm-mm.
It created an issue of some kind between him and the staff, and Auburn went into the transfer portal and gave $2 million to a transfer. Chad Baker-Mazara wasn't making anything close to that, and was like, well, if you're going to give this guy $2 million, I want $2 million.
I want $2 million.
And then Auburn's like, well, we're not giving you $2 million. And he's like, well, then I'll get in the transfer portal. So sometimes bringing in somebody who makes more than the guys who are already there, it makes them feel some kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these are things that every Major League Baseball clubhouse and NFL locker room, NBA locker room deals with on some level.
Yep.
But
this is all new.
It's all new.
Mm-hmm.
It's all new. And these are younger people, and the money's all fresh. And one concern among coaching staffs around America is, if I bring in P.J. Haggerty at $4 million or even at $3 million, what does it do to the rest of my locker room? Now, it's one thing, and I'm sure this school exists somewhere, they have unlimited resources. Like, you could pay P.J. Haggerty $4 million or $1, and it doesn't really...
I'm surprised BYU hadn't jumped in.
Well, those types of schools exist.
Yeah.
St. John's, BYU, Texas Tech. Like, Texas Tech paid JT Toppin $4 million to not even test the waters of the NBA draft. They just said, if you test the waters,
we might not have this.
But we'll give you $4 million right now. You could take $4 million. Here it is. $4 million. Take it. But you have to decline to enter the transfer portal and decline to go through the draft process. We will give you $4 million right now. That's what you have to do. If you don't want it, then we'll see. But it's here right now. He said, I'll take it. All right? That school, if it cost $8 million, they would just put $8 million on the table. They're not operating with any sort of what amounts to a salary cap. It's just money. It's just like, I'd rather not pay $4 million for P.J. Haggerty, but if we have to, we can. Those schools exist. BYU's one, St. John's is one, Texas Tech seems to be one as well. Other schools, most schools, are operating with some sort of they have a pile of money. And it's just like, why do you really want to spend, if we only got $9 million, do you spend $4 million on a undersized scoring guard? Great, but do you spend that kind of, here's what I think, bottom line, the market's going to, wherever he thought it was, it's just not going to be there. I'll be shocked if he gets what he is asking for, which reportedly $4 million and a promise to play point guard. I'll be shocked if you'll hear that when he commits somewhere. More likely that number is going to drop, and then he'll have to make a decision. Do you take X amount of dollars and go play somewhere else, or take X amount of dollars and play at the University of Memphis? And whatever that X represents, it'll be more than most people watching and listening make. It'll be a lot of money, millions probably. But I don't think it's going to be $4. And if you listen to Adam Finkelstein and Isaac Trotter, they cover recruiting. Like, this is what they do for a living. Like, my job is to do a lot of different things. Their job is to cover recruiting. They're on the phone with staffs every day covering recruiting. And the conversation that they had yesterday suggested what P.J. Haggerty is actually looking for doesn't appear to be out there. And if you're a Memphis fan, that could be good news for you.
Number 3.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
How about this?
Is going to have a sequel focused on Brad Pitt's character, the script written by Quentin Tarantino, but it will be directed by
David Fincher.
David Fincher, who, of course, did Seven with Brad Pitt and now will reunite to create a sequel to, I was going to say one of Tarantino's best, but do people consider it one of his best?
I think me personally, it's my favorite.
I will never move off of Pulp Fiction.
It's so great too. I would have to think about it. God, I love Jackie Brown too. That's one of my favorites as well.
Is the one
so underrated.
Jackie Brown is the one that gets left off the Pulp Fiction Reservoir Dogs list
because it's not violent.
Jackie Brown's great.
It's so good. It's so good. So this was interesting because when this first got announced, it was on April 1st. And literally no one took it seriously because everyone thought it was an April Fool's Day joke. Right. And people stayed on that for a while. And then they just kept talking about it. It's like, wait, what? This is real? This is a real thing? First, I'm surprised that, Brad Pitt would want to do it, that David Fincher would want to do it, that Quentin Tarantino is writing the screenplay for it. So it's cool. I'm stoked about this.
It will be called The Continuing Adventures of Cliff Booth. It'll follow Brad Pitt's character for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's going to be shot this summer in L.A. They're doing it quick. Mm-hmm. It's fast-tracked. They're going to shoot it in L.A. or in California this July, and it should be released perhaps later in the year, and it will be released on Netflix.
I don't love that.
It's not going to the theater.
I actually hate that quite a bit. I am, I like Netflix, just like everybody else likes Netflix. Did you see what their CEO said today or yesterday? This irked me. This irked me. He said that he thinks that going to see movies in theaters, and this is coming from the Netflix CEO, that's on streaming, obviously, is an outmoded idea for most people.
I went to the movies yesterday and had a terrible experience.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, I love the movie. Went to see Sinners at IMAX. It was great.
What was your experience?
I don't even want to speak on the theater. I'm not trying to get anybody in. I'm not trying to badmouth anybody.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, I'm frustrated now, and now I'm gonna be frustrated for the next 2 hours.
What's going on?
You can back me up on this. As I was sitting here yesterday, what did I tell you? I said, man, I'm looking forward to going to the movies, and I'm just looking forward to like eating at the movies. I just want to go to the movies and like I haven't eaten breakfast. I just want to go to the movies, get food, eat, sit down, get a nice Coke Zero, and watch a film, and I just want the whole experience. Walk up to the counter.
Yep.
And I ordered food. Can I take your order? Yeah, I'm gonna order food. I'm very happy. This thing's going well. Run the credit card, and the guy looks at me and he goes, now you're gonna have to come back and get this. Come back and get it? What are you talking about? You can't just hand me my food? He's like, oh no, it's not ready. It won't be ready. You're going to have to come back and get it. Well, this seems like the type of thing you should tell somebody before you run their credit card. Like if I would have said popcorn, like there's a menu up there and it says popcorn on it.
And then it's right there.
And if I say popcorn, you're just going to hand me the popcorn.
Yep.
But apparently if it says sausage and cheese plate, that's another deal altogether, but it's on the same menu. So if I order popcorn, I get it immediately, but sausage and cheese plate, I got to come back for that.
Yep.
Seems like something you should tell somebody. All right?
I agree.
So I said, okay, what are we up against here? He said, oh, it's like 5 minutes. I said, 5 minutes? That's fine. 5 minutes? 5 minutes. Okay, cool. The movie starts in 10. 5 is fine.
That's great.
I'll just wait right here. I'll just see what's going on Instagram.
I bet it wasn't 5 minutes.
At the 15-minute mark, I finally said something.
You missed the previews.
No. I mean, we're already in the previews. I mean, I'm assuming the movie is going to start about 1:15. Okay, which is about what time the movie started, 1:15 to 1:20. You know, 1 o'clock start is what it says, and then you got 15 minutes of previews, and then it's 1:15. So I've already missed all the previews. I'm like, if you can get me the food in 5 minutes, keep in mind, I didn't say it needs to be 5 minutes. I asked, how long are we looking at? Is it 2 hours or 2 minutes? You tell me, I don't work here. 5 minutes, sir. Okay, 5 minutes, that's cool. If you can get this to me in 5 minutes, I won't miss anything. 15 minutes later, I was like, bro, what's going on? Yeah, it's coming right up. You told me that 15 minutes ago. The movie is starting. Like, I got other things. What are we doing? I didn't know the kitchen was backed up. Well, that sounds like something you should know before you tell somebody who is waiting to go, who's about to go to a movie. Like, this movie ain't waiting on me. It's like you're trying to catch a flight. You got to get on the plane when it's time to get on the plane. You can't tell me I can have this in 5 minutes if it's really going to be 15, because that is quite literally the difference between missing the first 10 minutes of the movie or not.
No, and it's kind of interesting. Like some of and I think most people probably know the theater you're talking about because it's the only one with an IMAX in it.
Okay, well then it's that one. And I'll be honest, I felt like a jerk. I'll tell you that. I felt like a jerk, but I also was like, you're messing up this experience for me. This is one of the movies of the year. People say you got to see it in an IMAX. People say it's amazing. I don't want to miss a single scene. And you're creating a situation where I've either got to not eat, which is what I did. I said, bro, just refund my stuff. I'm going.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to miss the movie.
I don't want to miss the movie. I'll just sit here hungry. So, like, I felt like a jerk, but I also felt like, you told me it would be 5 minutes.
I don't think you're a jerk. I don't think you're a jerk.
If you would have said it's going to be 15, I would have said, just give me some nachos then and let me get on my way.
I don't think you're a jerk because the concession experience is very important. And here's why. Because it's how theaters make a lot of their money, if not most of their money, is off the concessions.
Oh, I spent $20 on a ticket and $60 on concessions.
That's the thing. The concessions have to be awesome, and you have to have a good experience so people keep buying the concessions at the movie theater. That's the moneymaker.
I am not demanding, let me be clear, that you must give me my food immediately. I asked, how long will this take? If you tell me 5 minutes, it needs to be 5 minutes. That's all I'm saying, because the movie starts in 10. If it's going to be 15 minutes, you got to tell me 15 minutes, and then I'll go, well, that's going to make me miss the beginning of the show. Just give me a bucket of popcorn instead.
Why do you think that the Grizzlies revamped their concessions this year, and they have got that awesome food court upstairs that you can grab and go stuff, and it's like a super quick experience? Because they know concessions are important for stuff like this. They are.
I am not exaggerating.
I know that sounds silly. It's just true.
It did not ruin the experience. I don't want to overstate it, but it did. It made it less. I was frustrated.
Yeah.
And yes, these are first world problems, but
No. It's but this is one that's worth getting mad about.
I wanted to have a nice movie experience, and I didn't because I was given bad information. Anyway, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's going to have a sequel. And
I wish it was coming to theaters.
We'll get to watch it on Netflix. And that's what I was trying to say. Thank God. Because you know what? Because you know what?
Okay, I was with you.
You know what? Because I'll just get my own sausage and cheese plate on time. And I'll start the movie when I'm ready to start the movie. I won't have to miss a thing. Interesting. Tell me what you think about this, then we'll move on.
Okay.
So there's some thought, people asking questions, why is Tarantino writing it but not directing it? And there's some thought out there, as I was reading about this morning. He has publicly said he is going to direct 10 films total and then be out. He said that if you study filmmakers, after about 10, it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to get some crap in there. And he don't want to do that. He wants his catalog to
look awesome
forever and not have duds in there. So he said, maybe I could make 20 good films, but nobody else does. So I'm just going to cut it at 10. There's some thought that the reason he's not directing this is because he quite literally just doesn't want to waste one of his 10 on a sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And his way out of it is just to hand it over to David Fincher. And David Fincher loves Brad Pitt anyway. And this, he wants this to be made, but he doesn't want it to count as one of his 10, which means he's just holding himself to some weird, arbitrary line that he created for himself. Any of that make sense to you?
I don't love it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why he's holding himself to this, and then the movie that was going to be his last movie is postponed now, and we don't even know if it's happening anymore. No, I don't love it. I will say he's written one of my favorite movies ever, True Romance. So he's great at writing movies. I
read this. He wrote True Romance.
Yeah.
But you would think he directed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, wrote it. He would direct and he'd write and direct this as well. But he wrote it, won't direct it. Did you know this? David Fincher offers every lead role that he...
To Brad Pitt.
Yes.
I believe. Well, because he's been in 3 of them. He's been in Fight Club, Benjamin Button, 7.
What I read this morning was that Brad Pitt has a right of first refusal for every David Fincher film. If he wants to be in it, he can. So it's a match made in Hollywood heaven, as they say.
It definitely is.
It's a match made in Hollywood heaven.
I like it.
I look forward to watching it on my couch with the biggest sausage cheese plate you've ever seen.
Okay, good.
Number 4.
Hey, the Tennessee Titans went out and traded for a receiver. Got a receiver in advance of tonight's NFL draft where they're expected to add their quarterback, Cam Ward. You excited about your new receiver? You've added veteran leadership to the receivers room.
Okay, so people were trying to downplay this yesterday, and it kind of pissed me off.
Oh, you're mad.
They went and got Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, the
who's
great
been
Tyler
with
Lockett.
Seattle forever. He's short, but he's a good receiver.
Yeah.
He's been a good receiver in this league for a long time. He didn't have a great season last year. Some of that due to injury. He started really well and then kind of trailed off. I just like this from the perspective of you go and get a veteran. He's going to be in the right spots. He's going to be good for the locker room, and he's just going to help this young quarterback. I don't know how much Tyler Lockett has in the tank. I would assume some based on what he's getting paid. And I just think it's a good third receiver option for a team like the Titans. I'm really, really excited about this signing.
Well, we spend every draft and rookie year of a quarterback evaluating these guys and calling them the next great thing or a bust or something in between. And a lot of times, you know what it comes down to? Who's blocking for you and who you throwing the ball to? Who you handing it off to?
Because Titans fans want them to draft a receiver in this draft, right? They've got Calvin Ridley back, which he's an awesome NFL receiver. Treylon Burks is still there, who's had a disappointing career so far. But they don't have a lot there, and so people are like, well, draft a receiver. And me, the whole time, I'm like, please go get a veteran. I don't even care if it's someone who's amazing. Just go get a veteran so he has that safety valve, just someone out there on the field with him that can help him get through his rookie season. That's what this is.
If you're happy, I'm happy.
I'm happy, man. I feel good about it.
If you're happy, I'm happy. Tyler Lockett coming in Nissan Stadium.
Number 5.
And guess who else is? Ben and I don't know what's going on there. Guess who else is? Cam Ward. No change since yesterday. The Titans are expected to use the first pick on the Miami quarterback. And then the conversation will very quickly, I guess, shift to Travis Hunter. But eventually, we're going to settle into Shedeur Sanders' watch. That's going to be the story of the night.
Yeah.
Where does Shedeur Sanders get selected? And this comes after a, quote, longtime AFC executive speaking anonymously absolutely blasted him in a report that surfaced yesterday on NFL Network. Did you see these quotes?
Yes, I did.
It's an NFL executive. He says Shedeur did the worst formal interview he's ever been in his life. Continued, he's so entitled, he takes unnecessary sacks, he never plays on time, he has horrible body language, he blames teammates, but the biggest thing is he's just not that good. Forget about whether any of that's true or not. Do you think it's fair? Just fair, like if you were NFL media and you had a source and the source gave you this, would you feel like it's right to use in an anonymous way the day before the NFL draft?
No, I don't. And the reason being is because, like, Jackson Dart's another guy that's going to get drafted high. I guarantee you stuff has been said bad about his pre-draft process. Evidence being he's not going to be the number 1 overall pick. He's not going to be the first quarterback taken. We're not taking those quotes and putting them out there. Like, I don't know.
Like it.
It seems like it's just trying to be polarizing for the sake of being polarizing. I don't like it at all. Yeah.
Like, I don't even mind the football breakdown if you can actually like break it down in that way. I don't love just trashing a young person's character anonymously the day before the biggest day of his life. Like if you are comfortable enough, you won't put your name on it, stand on it, then knock yourself out. I mean, like, you know, Marcus Morris and Kendrick Perkins and all sorts of people jump on TV every day and say wild things about people. Their faces are there. Their names are there. They gotta answer for that. I don't love this. And I'm not telling you that I've never done it, but I'm telling you that as I have gotten older and hopefully gotten wiser, I'm not as comfortable with it as I used to be. There was one time we did when we first started the Candid Coaches series at CBS Sports, which is that series we do every offseason. We ask more than 100 coaches, you know, random questions, and then we grant them anonymity in exchange for honesty, and you can learn a lot of stuff there. So we'll talk about NIL stuff or who's going to be the best player, who the best coach. But there was one year where we said the question was, who's the most overrated coach in college basketball? And the most votes were to Roy Williams. And we got a bunch of anonymous quotes, and it was just like, yeah, he signs 5 stars at North Carolina, and then he wins with them. Like, the guy's only worked at Kansas and North Carolina. Anybody could win at Kansas and North Carolina. There's nothing to him other than he's had 2 of the best jobs in college. Just stuff like that. And then, of course, it publishes. North Carolina media goes back to Roy, and Roy, you know, he handled it well. But I felt bad because, and I didn't realize it in advance. I had a blind spot for it. But after the fact, I realized we just let a lot of men who are probably jealous of Roy Williams, who are recruiting against Roy Williams, anonymously trash him. I don't think that's okay. I don't think that's okay. I didn't feel comfortable with it. After I wasn't smart enough to recognize it up front. But man, right after it happened, I was like, we should not have done that. And we have never done that again. Because all that does is free up coaches to trash. You ask any sort of negative question like that, who's the worst? Who's the dumbest? You're allowing people to trash folks who they might be jealous of, competing against, all sorts of things. And then again, you never know what the motive is behind this. What if this guy's just like, I'm going to trash Shedeur Sanders in hopes of maybe it'll make a different franchise think twice about taking him, and then he falls to you don't know what the person. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Nothing about it I like.
No, I don't like it either. I also, just for my 2 cents, is I think he's going to be a really good quarterback.
I don't know. We might come back to this quote 2 years from now and be like, oh, they said he was entitled and he's acting entitled. Oh, they said he was a bad teammate, and buddy, he looks like a bad teammate. Like, I'm not even arguing the sentiment. It might be true.
He won a lot of games at Colorado.
No, I'm not. You ready for this? I have no actual opinion on whether Shedeur Sanders is going to be great or not.
I got you.
Or whether these quotes are going to look brilliant in 2 years or not. As always, we'll see. I don't like these quotes the day before the draft.
I don't either.
I think, we've had we've been talking about Shedeur Sanders for a long time. You've had plenty of time to pop off like this if you wanted to. Why are you doing it the day before the draft? Shedeur Sanders has to deal with this the day before the draft. I don't. If I were Dion, I would not like this for my son. I would think it's unfair. Hey, Ben, you guys want to go on TV and question him? That's the job. I get that. But anonymously trashing his character the day before the biggest day of his life? It doesn't violate any sort of journalistic rules. But if I would have been the reporter that got that quote, I wouldn't have used it. Certainly not in that way.
I agree.
Be back with GP's Carryout.
Debo traded from San Francisco to the Commanders for a 5th-round pick. There's no other sport where you would get a player of his ilk for a 5th-round pick.
Over under total yards for Debo. If they set it at 1,000, you think he hits that over?
Total yards?
Total yards from scrimmage, total yards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
There's nothing like playoff basketball. Boy, nothing like playoff basketball in Memphis.
The atmosphere of a Grizzlies playoff game is super exciting.
Oh my God, it's absolutely electric. I love seeing the crowd out.
Everybody's just screaming their heads off. You feel like you're in a movie.
People are down here. Everyone's got on their Grizz gear.
The city's excited. Everybody's excited to watch. There's really nothing like it, and I really can't wait.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
I need cameras to capture every waking moment between Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston on the same team. The pregame prayers will be generational.
Because that's preacher and a deacon. That's what we're talking about here. That prayer's going to be 40 minutes. We're going to miss the anthem.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. Let's wrap this thing up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
Whole bunch of stuff. We mostly focused on your Memphis Grizzlies in advance of tonight's Game 3. Thunder Grizz inside FedEx Forum, 8:30 tip. Tickets available at Grizzlies.com. Oklahoma City is listed as a 9.5-point favorite. We don't care about that. All that means is we're getting free money tonight, right?
That's right.
Plus 9.5. Free money for everybody. Plus 9.5. Because if I know these Grizzlies the way I think I know these Grizzlies, there ain't no way they getting embarrassed at home. Not on a Thursday night. Not when their heart and their pride has been questioned from coast to coast in recent days. Tonight they show up. What do you think? Can you buy any of that?
Why do I feel so good? Why do I feel so good? It's because, you know why?
I don't know why.
It's because it's the first home playoff game of the year. We didn't have the playoffs last year.
Yep.
It's just those feelings start coming back,
Yep.
the butterflies.
Yep.
You start convincing yourself of things.
That's right.
Yeah, there's an excitement to it.
There's an excitement to
There's
it.
an excitement to it. So, yes, I think they're going to win tonight. I think they're going to freaking win tonight, okay?
Bennett's predicting an upset of epic proportions inside FedEx Forum. Do you want to see an upset of epic proportions in person, IRL, as Roser says?
Yes.
Do you want to see an upset of epic proportions, IRL?
Yes.
Roser says What is it that Roser says exactly? He says,
if you want to see your Grizzlies IRL,
the best way to do it is IRL.
No, I don't think that's how. I think I said it right.
I don't know.
I think I had it right. I've heard that commercial quite a bit.
I think
I said it right.
I just know that was one of those moments where I was like, so I guess we just shorten words to IRL now.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's one of those. IRL.
And now I use it every day, so that's good marketing.
IRL. Do you want to see an upset of epic proportions, IRL, tonight?
Yes.
Bennett says it's coming. He's predicted a Grizzlies upset. Never mind that the average margin of victory through 2 games is 35 for the Thunder. Bennett says, take those numbers and shove them up your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Upset tonight of epic proportions. And if you want to see it IRL, tickets available, Grizzlies.com.
What's today's biggest game?
You know what? Let's go to Little Caesars.
Do you want to go to Little Caesars?
I do want to go to Little Caesars.
Let's go to Little Caesars, brother.
I'm happy for them.
I am too.
I like to be happy for other people. I'm not what they call a big hater. I'm somebody who's happy for you. I get happy for you. I'm happy for Detroit. They've been through it, buddy.
They have been through it.
They barely won a game last year. They signed a coach to a $50 billion contract and had to fire him after 1 year. Like, you just can't do this anymore.
Can't do this, yep.
And then they make the coaching change. They flip it. Former Tiger Jalen Duren's playing a prominent role for him.
Dude, he is awesome, by the way. Like, I don't know if I thought that he was going to be this good just because of like the, typically like bigs now have to be, he's just your traditional big that can rebound, and defend. Like he's kind of a traditional big, right?
He's certainly not a modern big.
Right.
Which is why I never understood why he was ranked number 1 in his high school class. If you remember, like Jalen Duren's family hated me because I watched him play 2 times at Peach Jam.
I forgot you were critical. I forgot
I wasn't
you were critical.
I just said, how is this the number 1 prospect in the class? I know we just got through COVID and I've been out the game for a minute, with my mask on and stuff. But like, I know what number 1 picks in the draft look like.
God, that feels like it was like last year. That was like 6 years ago.
I was just like, I know what they look like. They look like Greg Oden.
Yep.
They look like AJ DeBansa. This guy's an undersized traditional big. And here's the only thing I ever said about Jalen Duren. When you were ranked number 1 in your high school class, it typically suggests you are in play to be the number 1 pick in an NBA draft.
Mm-hmm.
And he will never be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. Period. And people are like, oh, you don't know what you're... Well, you know where he was picked? 13th.
Mm-hmm.
After a great freshman season at Memphis, he was still picked 13th. Because he's an undersized traditional center, or at least not a modern center, not a stretch threat, all that stuff. But he's a useful NBA player. He has become an important piece.
Oh, no doubt.
On a playoff team.
He's a huge part of what they do.
Let's not overstate.
He's a big part of what they do.
He averages like 11 points per game. It's like a few rebounds. He's good. He's a good player.
Double-digit rebounds.
All right, let's not misquote anything. He averages 11.8 points, 10.3 rebounds.
He's a walking double-double.
He's a walking double-double.
He is a walking double-double.
I apologize to Jalen Duren. He's a walking double-double. I apologize. He's walking double-double. Hey, enough about him. He's a good player.
Yes.
He's 21 years old. He's averaging a double-double in the NBA. He's a good player, for sure. I'm happy for him. Enough about him. You know who else I'm happy for? You. Do you even know how you're doing?
How am I doing?
This is as good as you've been in like years. Literally years.
Let's go.
Your record is up to 216, 198, and 4.
Uh-huh.
You're negative? Tell me how many units you think you're negative right now.
5.
3.2.
Let's go.
Bennett, you're close to getting back to 500, man.
Let's go.
You're going to get to 500 before the Orioles do. You're going to get to 500 before the Orioles do.
They suck.
They do suck.
They suck.
All right, here's what we're doing tonight. We got the Pistons and the Knicks, led by double-double machine, Jalen Duren, Detroit basketball, inside Little Caesars. The Knicks are 1.5-point favorites on the road. That's disrespectful.
Nah, that's
the most disrespectful shit I ever heard.
No,
this is a rare playoff game, first one in a while inside Little Caesars. Is this the first playoff game ever in Little Caesars?
Is this the first playoff game in Little Caesars history? That arena is not old at all.
I think it might be too late to be doing research.
I can't got time.
I think it might be too late to be doing research, but that building is going to be on fire tonight. Bennett's taking the Pistons plus the 1.5. Home underdog on a Thursday?
Of course, it's the same reason.
Bennett's running with home underdogs tonight.
Because
Whether it's Little Caesars or FedEx Forum, he wants home underdogs.
It's the same reason I think the Grizzlies are going to win tonight. The atmosphere is going to play the role. The atmosphere is going to play a role in the victory. The atmosphere is going to will them to victory. It's going to be insane in Little Caesars. It's got to be insane in FedEx Forum. We're going to will these teams. The Pistons and the Grizzlies are one tonight. We are one in the same. All right?
I don't have a ground towel, but I'll just wave my MacBook.
We're going to will ourselves to victory.
I'll wave my MacBook around.
The crowd's going to play a part. The crowd's going to play a part in both games.
Bennett says the crowd's going to play a part in both games.
Yep.
I'm going to trust him then. He says take the Pistons plus 1.5.
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
What are we watching on TV?
I think we just got to watch the Grizzlies, don't we?
That's what we have to do as a community.
As a community, we just have to watch the Grizzlies.
As a Grizzlies community.
IRL ideally, but if not IRL, they'll have it on TNT. Here's my other thing. Can we do one game without Chuck and Charles and Kenny making fun of us?
That's another reason. I just need I need a dub tonight.
Make them eat their jokes for once.
Seriously.
Make them shut up for a second.
Yes.
They're laughing at you. Don't you ever get tired of getting laughed at?
Yes.
Don't let them laugh at you tonight.
No. Yeah, make them eat their words.
Make them eat their words.
Make Shaq doo-doo in his pants again.
Make Shaq doo-doo in his pants again.
Yeah.
He said it was a number one, but that looked like a number one. He said number one, but it looked like number two.
They got him a porta pot in the studio.
I know, that's funny. I know what a number one trot looks like, and I know what a number two trot looks like.
Mm-hmm. That felt like a number two trot.
It looked like a number two trot.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
He was holding something.
Number one trots, that's a different trot. That's more of a sprint.
Yeah, you're just running there.
Yeah, number one, if you've got to do a number one, that's a sprint.
Yeah, there's no clinching involved with a number one trot. Yeah.
Number two, you got to be a little more, there's just other things going on.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of stiffness.
A lot of just, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. That looked like a number two.
That did to me too.
Yeah, right. All right. That's what we're watching tonight, TNT.
What's the best thing we've read?
Pete Prisco has published his final mock draft in advance of tonight's first round of the NFL draft, and he has Shedeur Sanders. Take a guess where you got him going.
Not 21 to the Steelers. I'm going to say the New Orleans Saints. The Seattle Seahawks. Not the Cleveland Browns. The Indianapolis Colts. Who am I missing? Hang on. Don't. No.
Spoiler alert.
The Jets. 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 They got him falling.
Out of the first round.
That's just not happening. There's no way in hell. I just don't believe it. A year ago, this was the Shedeur Sanders draft. There's no way.
I don't know. I don't know nothing about this.
Seattle has two.
Okay.
Seattle has they have one first round.
Here's
pick.
what I believe.
Two.
Here's what I believe. I believe somebody will take Shedeur Sanders somewhere tonight, but I don't know. How would I know?
I mean,
but it just seems crazy that the whole time the guy could be in the conversation for this, and then on the day of the draft is like, he's not going to be picked tonight. That would seem wild to me. But maybe.
If he falls past the Steelers at 21, I think that he might not be a first-round pick because no team after that needs a quarterback.
And of course comes after those anonymous quotes for a front office executive. And Nick made a good point in the chat. This happens every year to a quarterback prospect.
Mm-hmm.
And it is almost always a black quarterback. CJ Stroud's too dumb. Shedeur Sanders is entitled. It's like all coded language shit.
Will Levis fell. He's second round.
I'm not talking about falling. I'm talking about just days before the draft, suddenly people are just trashing.
Oh, the anonymous stuff, yeah.
Just trashing you.
No, that's a
I don't
good
remember.
point.
You correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember anybody saying Will Levis is a jerk the day before the draft. Or Will Levis is too dumb to play this position.
That's fair.
I
can remember going back to Vince Young when the Titans drafted him. Maybe that's
the other thing that bothers me about this. It's never about Will Levis or somebody who looks like, or it's rarely, I don't want to say never. It's rarely about, it's like when you hear these anonymous, like just quarterback prospect, probably going in the first round, and now he's getting trashed. It's almost always somebody who looks like Shedeur Sanders or CJ Stroud. Almost always. And here's another example of that. I'll be rooting for the young man, if only because I don't I'd rather root for him than trash him anonymously.
Yeah.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, hopefully we're talking about a 2-1 series, getting ready to try to even things up this weekend inside FedEx Forum. Wouldn't that be something?
Believe
When's the
Memphis.
last time we were able to just have a fun conversation?
For the M.
When's the last? Because even with you get the fun Friday night, last Friday night.
Yep, but we didn't get to talk about it because we were.
By the time we get back in here on Monday, we just lost by 51.
I know. I knew that was going to be.
When's the last time we got to just have fun?
I want to have a fun Friday.
I want to come in here and
Friday.
let me tell you some words I don't want to have to say at all.
Yep.
Okay? Here's the words I hope are omitted from tomorrow's opening segment. Heart, urgency, energy, desire.
I was going to say desire.
All those words. I don't want to use any of those words.
Yep.
I'd like to just talk about, man, that was a fun basketball game last night, and the Grizzlies somehow pulled it off at home. And now it's 2-1, Bennett. Crazier things have happened. That's what I want to do tomorrow. Can we do that?
Do it for the M.
Bennett says do it for the M.
For the M.
8:30 tip tonight. IRL.
Be there.
Tickets available at Grizzlies.com. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll enjoy mine. If you're inside FedEx Forum tonight, perhaps I'll see you. If not, let's meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.